won't find it because there's none, and we'll still need to monetize and to find the proper economic model for our specific app with a specific genre of game, with a specific, dedicated to a specific target audience.
So let me put it this way, right? Just the ad monetization on mobile apps, that market is close to 15 to 17 billion in 2014. Right? Now, where does this money go? Large chunk of that money will go to developers, right? Now if you say, now that is the macro view. Now, if you do at a micro view, is that, okay, you know what, I have this app. How much of it I will monetize through in-app purchase versus how much I will make it paid versus how much I will do ad monetization, that will depend upon your audience diversity that you have, right? Till date, at least, what we have seen is none of the games have been able to cross the 10% threshold in terms of the number of audience who actually pay, right? Then comes the price points. So one is that 10% pay, and then second question comes it at what frequency, right? So whether advertisement will be a part of the monetization strategy for most of the apps, absolutely yes, at least for the next 2 to 3 years, right? Unless new models come along where essentially imagine, so what are the big macro things where essentially people are doing on mobile? That's what we want to ask. So if you say that, okay, you know what, commerce is going to pick up big time, where people are going to start sort of buying stuff like crazy on the mobile phone only, right? Then there might be alternative models which will come along, which is not about virtual goods, this, that, and all those things, but essentially the commerce model of things. Where imagine you have a storefront in your app, right? Where people go and buy stuff there, and essentially you get a sort of commission out of that, right? So Amazon launched very recently an affiliate program, if you remember, right? But so different models will keep coming, but will advertising completely go away? It will not, because one of the things is like what advertisers look is they follow where the users go, right? And if users are spending majority of the time on the mobile phone and doing different activities, be it the utility or entertainment or even like gaming or social, there will be a lot of money which will get pumped into this domain over the next, like at least foreseeable future, right? The question is that how can you get a good slice of that money without sort of losing out your users and keeping the sort of the audience time that you command over a period. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
I have one more question. If you, hello? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is specific to India as a market, and you guys are the best who've grown out of India to a global company. So third largest country in terms of smartphone sales, predictably the largest smartphone market 5 years from now. The monetization is still a challenge here more than probably the US and the other markets. How do you see that changing here? So
okay.
Payments is a problem, ad rates is are much lower than what you see other players. How do you see this place evolving from an India monetization strategy perspective?
Okay. So two things for particularly the India market as such, right? First is like if I see that, okay, you know what, if I'm creating a monetization model, there are two parts, right? One is that other app developers who are trying to find more users where they are ready to pay for that, right? Versus non-app developers, which is all brand and commerce, and these guys, how much they are trying to reach out on mobile to people, right? So on the first part, whereas that how many app developers in India are actively looking towards ad monetization, that's where your ad rates come into play, right? I think there is to be a little bit growth in the market with respect to the outlook, that if people say that, you know what, I am a global player, I am making an app or game which is going to be good global, right? So imagine like the conversation you are having in US is that, you know what, how much CPD or cost per download you are paying to pay. It starts at $1, $2, $3, depending on the LTV of that user. If in India the conversation starts at, okay, I am ready to pay 1 rupee, right, then that becomes a challenge, because then like you need enormous amount of volume to generate any meaningful this thing, right? But that is changing very fast, right? In the sense like now people in India who are making apps, they know that, okay, you know what, I have a chance to go global, right? So they are starting, gradually that purse is opening up, right? On the second part, if you see the Flipkart phenomenon, right? It has happened, like in front of our own eyes. Earlier people were not even buying online, right? Now imagine like if I see the trend in India with respect to the trust and comfort in doing business like online, as that grows, automatically what will happen, lot more advertisers will come online trying to say that, okay, you know what, I want to go where the users are going because they're spending most of the time on mobile. I want to advertise there, right? So that trend is also happening, but for that, like the macro, we have some challenges with respect to the entire transaction handling is still not very smooth, you know, right? So those are the things as they, so over the next 5 years, you are absolutely right, believe me, this is going to skyrocket. Because as the user's confidence grows in terms of doing transactions without another human being present, as that confidence grows, this is going to like sort of take off, right? Any other question?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Adish. I'm working with Disney UTV. So as you mentioned, and some ads are there, like you can click on those when to see video, and you can earn points. And one of the recent game called D-Day, what I've seen is you can install some other app, or maybe you can. Yeah. I mean, you got that, right? So how's the performance of these ads as compared to other normal static?
See, a couple of things which are very important on that, right? Again, as you are seeing the lifetime value of your user, every advertiser is also seeing the lifetime value of the user, right? So if you sort of, so it is very important, what are you incentivizing? If you are incentivizing the download, the advertiser knows this guy downloaded this only to get coins, he's never going to use mine. He's not going to pay you extra for that, right? So what you are incentivizing in this entire chain becomes very important. First is, imagine you are saying, I'm incentivizing you to watch the app trailer video, right? So as soon as you watch the video, I incentivize you. Whether you download it or not, that is after you. So from that point, it is the advertiser who thinks that, okay, if I have really built a kick-ass game and people have seen the app trailer and then they are downloading, the advertiser is ready to pay more, right? So a lot of these things, it is both sides of the equation. Like you can't really say that, okay, you know what, why don't you go and sort of buy this, I'll pay you that, and by the way, next day please return it, so that, right? So those type of models don't work. It has to be a sustainable model.
Thanks.
Right? Any other questions? Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks for being a wonderful audience. Me and my colleague Himanshu, if you can stand. So we'll be outside. If you have any queries, I will be more than happy to address those. Thank you.
Krishnendu, you have to be there for a minute. Thank you so much. I think it was wonderful.
Hope, wish and pray every one of us here makes a lot of money.
Yes, that's what we are building it for.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Krishnendu.
Thank you.
So guys, from one interesting topic to an important one, and we really want to know what the recipe is really from Shiraj. And what he's going to talk about is some secret recipe about making a great game. So Shiraj, over to you, please.